Hello everybody and welcome back. Well, unfortunately, I'm still a bit under the weather, but we have a lot of PSVR2 news to talk about, some exciting new game announcements, a new trailer for Aces of Thunder which we will be breaking down, and a whole lot more. So, if you're a fan of PSVR2 and find yourself around here often, please feel free to like and subscribe as only 25% you are, and let's get straight into it. VR developer The Binary Mill have announced that their Quest VR game Into Black, which came out I think about 3 months ago, is coming to PSVR2. In this game, you take on the role of a lone wanderer on the edge of space, in first person, as you explore the endless darkness, mine valuable resources, and fight off alien beasts as you try to repair your ship and escape. From that description and the trailers, and all the gameplay that I've seen, it seems like a bit like Deep Rock Galactic, as you explore 20 plus levels, gather resources and upgrade tools. There are multiple unique biomes like magma chambers, sunken caves, labyrinthine tunnels, and alien nests. There are loads of alien types to fight, and the game also has a PvPvE mode, having you create uneasy alliances with players in an ever-shrinking environment. This looks really cool. I've heard some great things about this. I haven't played it myself, so I can't verify that, but pretty much all of the talk about Into Black has been unanimous praise, so I'm looking forward to it coming to PSVR 2. We also got some news that according to GDC, 35% of all game developers work in the AR and VR game development space. And we also got a nice graph breaking down which AR platforms and VR platforms devs are most interested about. Of course, the top one is Quest with 63% of the vote, Steam VR with 45%, Vision OS at 26, which is interesting, and PlayStation VR 2 at 25. To be honest, in terms of releases, I can definitely see the gap between Quest and PSVR 2, but in terms of Steam VR and PSVR 2, a lot of the games that have been announced on Steam VR as of late, for example like Pirates VR or even Blade and Sorcery now, are either being tested on PSVR 2 or are confirmed coming to PSVR 2, so there isn't really that much of a rift there, I don't think, or at least it doesn't feel like it, compared to the 20% disparity here. Of course, there are some titles like Assetto Corsa Evo that just came out that aren't on PSVR 2 but are on Steam VR. But overall, I feel like the disparity in reality feels less than that, but I would still like to see obviously the numbers come up for PSVR 2 because it is a great platform with a good sized user base that are all very dedicated to VR gaming. Of course, we got that new Aces of Thunder trailer. This is showing off some World War I aircraft and it looks utterly fantastic. Now, I'm not a big aficionado of World War I aircraft. I can't really identify a lot of the planes in this trailer. I'm more of a Cold War, World War II enthusiast, but the gameplay here looks stunning. A couple more shots of inside the cockpit, the amount of detail especially on the cockpit inside, as you can see in some of these shots, looks fantastic. And one of the things I want to kind of draw attention to is the draw distances outside the planes, because the last game that I played that was a flight simulator in VR on PlayStation was Ace Combat 7, and before that the PSVR 2 port of Project Wingman, and both of those games actually have fairly good draw distances for foliage, which is what I'm focusing on in this trailer. Aces of Thunder does just look to blow them out of the water. I mean, understandably, Project Wingman is made by a couple of people, and Ace Combat 7 is very old now. But just the draw distances here and the detail on the ground looks fantastic, and that's kind of what sells a flight simulator to you, is that sense of scale that you're actually in the air, and hopefully they nail it here. From everything we've seen though, this is the attention to detail that we've come to expect from the Gaijin devs. They are fantastic developers. However, I have no idea when the game is coming out. We've not really been told. It was originally penned for like 2023, I want to say, then 2024, now we're in 2025. The fact they keep updating us though is always a good sign that they say, okay, here's some more content, this is coming, and hopefully this means that when the game comes out, there's a load of content to play around with and it's polished is the main thing. So hopefully we hear something from them soon, but to be honest, I know exactly as much as you guys do. I haven't really been in touch with Gaijin at all over this one. They're a very big company, so it's kind of hard for me to get in touch with them. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll get some concrete news on a release date soon. In the last week or so, we also got Gorilla Attack on PSVR 2. This is a Quest game where you basically become a King Kong style gorilla smashing through a city. Honestly, it looks something similar to what I've seen made in Dreams before, which is a compliment to the Dreams developers. However, it's not going to be a system selling game or anything like that, but it could be fun. I think Games with T may have reviewed this one, so I'll leave a link in the description to his video if you want to check out more about that. But ultimately, we got the information that Into the Radius has sold almost 1 million copies across all platforms. The exact number is 800,000, which is fantastic to see. These developers are just fantastic. Into the Radius is one of the best PSVR 2 games on the platform, and I cannot wait for when the second game is fully done and they can port it over, because that is also going to be amazing. It looks like a step up in every sense of the term. But CM Games have done a fantastic job with Into the Radius. It is one of the most beloved VR games of all time for a very good reason, and it's good to see they're nearing 1 million copies sold. And lastly, the Flatout VR devs got in touch with Upload VR to talk about Flatout VR. Now, this was a bit of an interesting one with Flatout VR, because when it got announced, People were hoping that it would be Flatout 1 or 2 that got the adaptation, but it seemed to be Flatout 4, which is not really a fan favourite of the series, but the Flatout VR devs have confirmed this is kind of like a brand new Flatout entry, saying they want to take some of the best things from each Flatout and make an original version for VR. Now, if you're not aware, Flatout is a demolition derby game with destructible environments and vehicular combat, says Upload VR. I think that's the best way to put it. And Upload VR's Henry Stockdale, who is a lovely guy, by the way, goes on to say the initial trailer is based on Flatout 4 Total Insanity, but he's been told that Flatout VR Studios hold the license for several Flatout games, which is where this kind of culmination of all the games is coming from. The most important thing here, though, is that while the devs are not really ready to commit to saying this is Flatout or Flatout 2, either way, they'll make sure that the VR version retains the speed, look, and feel that made the series so popular. This one is coming to PSVR 2, otherwise I would be talking about it. And Flatout VR have had a very strong start to the platform in terms of polish and gameplay feel with Trombone Champ. Whether you like rhythm games or not, that game was expertly made, so hopefully Flatout VR is similar. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. What's your favourite announcement of the bunch? Is it the new Aces of Thunder gameplay? Is it the new information about Flatout? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.